How many Iron Maiden fans we got in the room? Quite a few of you. Well, I'm certainly one, that's for sure. Okay, we kicked off with an album. We released an album in September of 2015. And we went out, as you probably know, Bruce was sick, and we had to postpone the release of that album to see how he got over his illness. And then we went out with the Book of Souls tour, which started in February last year in Florida, 24th of February. Now, when we were working out how to present the Book of Souls album, it was basically taken from that song, obviously, which was very much about the Maya and the Mayan faith and what happened to these guys. And so our stage set was very, very predominantly inspired by that era of Mesoamerica. And from that was the inspiration for, first of all, to do a gong with Paiste, which they made a 40-inch reflected stunning gong, which we took, which was like the canvas for the Mayan calendar, with a couple of changes to it. Now, once I spoke with Eric about this, we decided how and when we could get the cymbal, whether I was going to use one of my existing gongs. I think you made a new one for me. Yeah. I'm not sure. Yes, we did. So then, out of that, and showing them the stage set, Eric said, wouldn't it be nice if we put some related artwork on your cymbals and have a complete set made just for the tour? So that's how the idea was formed. And as we'll see from, hopefully you'll get to see them. I have 12 sets of cymbals in my set. Actually, it's 13 individual cymbals, as we call a hi-hat, a pair of cymbals as one, right? So the artwork which we settled on was the middle of the Mayan calendar, which has got the fifth sun god from. They share that calendar. It's Aztec and Maya. And there's a guy, his image is on the front, his name is Tona Tiua, and he's the fifth sun god. So he's got a dagger hanging out of his chops, he's got googly eyes, as you'll see on the box. So Eric said, let's put this image on the cymbal, because we've got that on the gong. And then we discussed putting some glyphs, which are the Mayan writing, which is around the gong, or around the calendar. And we decided to put my very first session with Iron Maiden, my very first official downbeat, which was January the 9th, 1983. So one of the guys at Paiste researched the glyphs, and we came up with the glyphs for the date on that cymbal. So each cymbal has got the glyphs corresponding to 1983, January the 9th. And so as well on the cymbal, you'll notice the logo of Paiste is in the Iron Maiden font, which is something that is totally unique and something that I'm very blessed to have been able to use on my cymbals since probably 1989, around that time. I think I had it on the gong first in 1986, I think, was somewhere back in time. I had a white gong, and we had the Paiste logo. And I remember your dad, when I asked him to do that, he said, silence on the end of the phone for a while. And he said, do you know what you're asking me to do? I said, yeah, I want you to put the Paiste logo, Maiden font on the Paiste logo. And he said, Nick, that's our brand logo. We can't do that. But let me think about it. And so that's how that all started. Anyway, we do have a wonderful presentation box that this set of cymbals comes in. And shall we show it to everybody? Let's say, can you hold the mic for us, mate? I want it back. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the case that the cymbal. Obviously, we can lift this up. There's only about half a dozen cymbals in it at the moment. It will be heavy. And inside, well, let's open that up. Eric, can you? Right. You get the album, vinyl, triple vinyl album, the CD, and then up here is a pair of these drumsticks. Shall we shut it? Right. As we mentioned, on the cymbal, can I have the mic? I got it back. We got the centre artwork of the Mayan calendar with the Tuna Tioa, and we have Paiste etched in, all done with laser etching, and it's great. And we have an absolutely wonderful plaque on the front which says Paiste in the regular font, and underneath it says Maiden, M-A-I-D-E-N, Switzerland, in the Maiden font. And I've got to say a shout out to Ivo, who works with Paiste. He's a young lad. He's been with the company, well, 4 or 5 years, Ivo? And young lad, and Eric said to him, here you go, make a case for Nicko Cymbals. And he worked on various models, didn't he? And then I went over to see the guys last year when we were doing a show not too far away from Knockville. And we visited, and he came up, and we finally settled on this beautiful case. And as I said, it comes with an album signed by myself, a CD signed by myself, the Book of Souls book, and these drumsticks. Now, Vic Firth made me these drumsticks just for the Book of Souls tour. We do have a signature line, but the logo, Boomer, that's my nickname, boys and girls. Anybody know why? Anybody got a clue why I'm called Boomer? I'm glad, because I'm not going to tell you. The Boomer logo is in the Iron Maiden Book of Souls font. The normal Boomer is in the Iron Maiden font, not the Book of Souls font. So they're very, very, very special, because you can't buy them. So those come with the box too. Shall we have a little listen to the set of cymbals before we go over?
How many boxes are there?
Do what, mate?
How many boxes are there?
83.
Okay.
We decided, we were wondering, you know, because it's such a special edition of these cymbals with this wonderful artwork on, we decided maybe 50 at first, didn't we? Then went to 100. And Eric, I've got to say, he's immense with his ideas. He said, hey Nick, let's do 83. I said, yeah, that's when I joined the band. So there's only 83 sets of these that will be commercially available. I've got a couple of sets in the warehouse for the next part of the tour, which we're going on.
You don't have a box.
I don't have a box. No, I've got a big flight case, which Charlie has to put away every night. Bless him. But okay, so moving on, as Eric mentioned, since '89, and I was also very blessed to have been on the Paiste advisory board with Robert Paiste, Eric's uncle, and Freddie Studer and I, and 23 other drummers from around the world. I think JR, you might have been involved with that too, right?
No.
No, JR wasn't involved with it. Sorry, mate. Anyway, just a brief history to the signature. There were 24 drummers were asked what they wanted to hear in a cymbal. Prior to the signature cymbal line, I used 2002s. And so each of these drummers were asked about the signature line, and this is where we are today. Basically, out of 24 of us from around the world, all different types of genres of music, were asked about their cymbal and the input. So Robert then went and made the signature line. So what we have over here is basically, well, there's a couple of aliens set up in this setup, believe me, I'll talk about that in a minute. They are of the signature reflected line, and most of the crashes we're going to have a quick listen to over here are the heavy full crash. And I'm going to step over and we'll go round. It's basically set up how I have it set on my drum set. Excuse me, mate, get out of the way, will ya? Let me through, and you, bugger off. I don't think I've got enough lead to get over. Here we go, thank you very much. I'm using the microphone just for the benefit of me being deaf.
Just do this.
Right, it starts out, as I said, heavy full crashes, all on this side of the drum set. This is a 15. Heavy full crash. This 15 got a lovely little bell on it too, hasn't it? Very quick, nice. You can't buy that.
And you have 6 here, yeah?
No.
Tom.
Oh, the tom-tom. We're not talking about drums, we're talking about cymbals! Right, yeah, he's right. It sits above my 6-inch. I got 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 hanging toms, so they live underneath all these cymbals. But this particular cymbal here was made for me. I asked Eric many years ago. I said, look, I've got a set. I used to have a 17 Rude here, which you'll see is one. This is one of the aliens. It's not a signature reflected cymbal, is it? It's a Rude.
Rude.
And so I had 2 17s, and I don't like the duplication. in terms, and they sounded the same because they were both 17 crash rides. So, all right, I'll make you a 15, he says. Oh, fantastic. So that's why we've got a 15. You can't buy this for love nor money unless you buy this set, of course, and then you get that with it. It gets thrown in, right? Right, okay, 15. Right, and above that, I've got a 19 heavy full crash. Love it. Then below that I have a 16, so it's 15, 19, 16, 20, 18. Okay, all full heavy crash. Heavy full crash, sorry. That is just music, isn't it? Isn't that gorgeous? So, there you go. 15, 19, 16, 20, 18. Now, over here, I've got heavy hi-hats. Beauty as well. So, everything's heavy. Then this is the second alien in the group. Now this cymbal is on the top of my bass drum, right in between the 13 and 14 tom-tom, just so you know.
Yes,
right?
that's
right. Now this is another very unique cymbal. You can't buy this for love nor money unless you buy the Book of Soul set of cymbals in a box. Because this here is a very beautiful, as I said, it's an alien. The other brothers and sisters have a moan at each other about this one, because this is a 602 bass metal, boys and girls, and they don't make this anymore except for who? Me. It is a 13-inch heavy bell. Now this heavy bell cymbal, and it does get a clobbering in the maiden show, especially at the beginning of Hallowed Be Thy Name, right? How cool is that? I could, if I don't choke that, I'll come back to that in 5 minutes. It will still be going singing to you. Right, so that's me 602. Then we come up here to the 22-inch bell ride. Now this here is a monster. It is. It's got the most incredible bell sound to it. I love it. I mean, I do a lot of bell work, always have, and the new album, it's quite distinct. You know, I talked to not Martin Perch, that's the old guy, Kevin Shirley. I said, Kevin, I'm doing a lot of bell work, bring it out, can you? So I'll put another microphone under it for you. So we had a microphone cut right at the cut. But anyway. The beautiful thing about this cymbal is I have mine very tight. It doesn't wash a lot, and you can crack and ride this thing, and it will max out, and it doesn't lose its integrity, which is phenomenal. Now, before I move on to these, I just want to let you know that this 22 and the 22 heavy full crash over here has got the logo on 6 times, whereas most of the other cymbals, in fact all of the other cymbals, have it on 4. So you're getting an extra logo or 2 on each of these cymbals. Just bear that in mind. Okay, so then we move over. This is the second alien, or the first one we talked about, which is my Crash Ride 17 Rude. Now, the way this came about for me was way back in when I was using the 2002s. I just needed a primary crash cymbal that had a bit more cut, which was this baby. And I've just stuck with it because I love the Crash Ride Rude 17. It's just a preference. I mean, you know, why? Well, it's just such a beautiful cymbal. Hang on, I'll bash the other one, that's not good. Now, being they're of different metals, it's quite surprising, isn't it? Because they're so compatible. The contrast between this beautiful Rude and the rest of these Heavenfall crashes, it really complements in my book. Anyway, so now we're going to move over. Now I've got the 20-inch Heavenfall crash over here. This is a fast medium. Now I'm going to tell you, before this was a fast medium, it was a prototype. Yeah? Which we will move over to and tell the story about these in a minute. So I'm going to let you hear the difference between these. Quick funny story about this, right? I think I started using this pro. Now what happened was, right, I didn't want to duplicate. Remember I was telling you about the 17 Rude I had over here, and I swapped it out for a 15 because I didn't want to duplicate. So I said, oh, God knows who it was I spoke to. He must have been 18, 19 years ago. I said, can I have a different, like a medium thin crash? Well, don't do them. Well, could you make something for me? Well, all right, we'll make something for you. Well, actually, so I think Eric talked to one of the guys in research and development. They said, yeah, we made a 20 prototype. It's kind of a thin crash-ish. But it ain't a Heavenfall crash. And then actually I was using the power crashes in those days, which was slightly different. So they gave me the prototype, and it was so good, they kept making them for me. And then I turned around to Eric and said, Eric, yeah, it's about 12 years ago, Eric, why don't we put the prototype, you know, call it something else, obviously. Could you call it the prototype? Why don't we put it in the family? Oh, no, I'm not having that. He says, I said, come on, mate. He said, well, let me think about it. Next year, Eric, yeah, you know that prototype? I said, no, I'm not thinking about using that, Nick, not right now. So anyway, the prototype has finally, bless his heart, after much persuasion with the TBOS cymbals, he's given in to me, and this is now renamed a fast medium, which we will get to after I just wrap up the book of sales. Am I all right for time, son? Oh, jeez. He said 20 minutes. I see you having a laugh, and yeah. Anyway, so we've got, let's go, 17 Rude, fast medium 20. And now, the Heavenfall crash 22. Oh. Is it possible to climax? Yes, I suppose it is. Sorry, Siri. Right, last cymbal in the group. Number, I call it 13. Because that's two cymbals, isn't it, the hi-hat? There's only one. Well, there's two there, look. One on the top, one on the bottom. You can eat. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming tonight. You make these events very, very special to us all. And I know to everybody that works here. Let's give everyone a round of applause. Patrick behind the bar and the guys who've got the food for you. Thank you. Lovely. So, I think I'm going to get slung out now. But thank you all so very much, and I hope you love the TBOS cymbals as much as you love everything else here. And it's been a great honour to present this to you this evening. Thank you so very much.